Why is psychology so expensive? This video aims to answer some of those questions. Hi, I'm Kim Long, and I'm with Doja Psychological Services in Spruce Grove, Alberta. So, I have to admit I have a bias. I think that psychology and therapy is a worthwhile investment in your health. But this video will hopefully break down some specific reasons as to what goes into figuring out our fee schedule. But first, I'd like to talk just briefly about what therapy kind of is meant to do. And if you were to Google the term psychology or psychologist or something, it would say something along the lines of it's the study of human mind and behavioral patterns and how those two work together to cause a behavior to happen. To me, I think therapy is about finding strengths and barriers, kind of what gets in your way, and how that works with what we know about development and working with that information in order to help you get to the life that you really want to have. And how do we do that? We use scientifically proven models and techniques suited to you in order to help you achieve the goal you want to achieve. And what I really love about therapy is that it is meant to be very personal, empathetic, and non-judgmental. I also love that it deals with the past, present, and future, so it's both proactive and reactive. And finally, I also love that really therapy has begun to deal a lot with the three brains, so you're looking at mind, body, and emotion. So it considers all of those things. And for some odd reason, I use the plant analogy, so bear with me. So on the surface, a plant can look okay for a really long time before it starts to show that it's sick. And I think that human beings, especially with mental health, that's the case. We think other people can see that we are not doing well, but we're so good at maintaining that oftentimes people don't know what we are struggling with. So if we go back to that plant analogy, it can take a long time before we actually look at the roots of the plant. And before we start to see that those roots are maybe all tangled and starting to choke each other out, there might even be some mold growing. So what a psychologist will do with the client, to me, it's always about teamwork. So we're doing this with client permission. We start to untangle those roots, creating some space for the roots to breathe and start to heal. And then, again, working with the client, we start to really add those necessary ingredients for the plant to be healthy in the long term. So we might add some sunlight, which would be hope. We add some water and food, which is building that toolkit that clients can use in the future to help ward off any future illness. We also look at strengthening the roots and the stem of the plant, so really the structure, and that is where we look at, again, using your strengths that you already have, and how can we change thinking, feeling, and behavior patterns so that they are healthier for you. So really, to me, that's what therapy is about, is that plant analogy, and we're just trying to help a plant be all it can be and be healthy. So unfortunately, in using the plant analogy, it still doesn't answer the question, why is it so freaking expensive to grow a plant? So again, I'm going to flip back to, well, here I'm going to draw from information that other associations have provided, because believe me, when I was originally starting out in my own therapy, I had the same question. Basically, the fee takes into account the training in assessment, diagnosis, treatment, and behavior change. It also takes into account continuing education and the years of schooling that we already have, as well as our experience. So the continuing education portion is an ethical responsibility for us to continue to take coursework and continue to go to conferences and learn the up-to-date specialized scientific knowledge, because the field is changing all the time. So you can feel free to ask your psychologist or therapist what courses they are taking that year, if that's really important to you. Also, it takes into account that not everyone can do what we do. For example, you wouldn't hire me to fix your furnace, or if you did, we have bigger issues to discuss. You would hire someone like me if you needed someone who had a lot of compassion and was able to sit with you as you explore some of the darkest parts of your life, or the parts of your life that are the most painful or that you're struggling with. So you wouldn't necessarily hire a furnace guy to help you with that, or a furnace lady to help you with that, just like you wouldn't hire me to do the furnace work, because that would be all shades of bad for you. Also, the fees take into account that the terms psychologist, psychiatrist, and social worker are protected by law. So you have to pass exams and meet certain standards and maintain your licensure and your insurances every year in order to still be considered a registered psychologist. It also takes into account the fees that are incurred by running a private office. So, just like running your home, you have to pay electrical and all that other stuff. So yeah, whoever sets the fee schedules, which for Alberta, I believe it's the Psychologists Association, comes out with the fee schedule. And they take into account all of those different factors before setting our fees. So anyway, long story short, that's what goes into it. I really invite you to learn more about it, or learn more about what you're really getting. What's the bang for your buck? And I'm going to check my cheat sheet here for all the websites. There's a bunch of them. You can check out the American Psychological Association, which is www.apa.org. You are more than welcome, of course, to go to our website, which is www.dochaspsych.com. You can also check out the Psychologists Association website, which is psychologistsassociation.ab.ca. The College of Alberta Psychologists, which is cap.ab.ca. The Canadian Psychological Association, cpa.ca. And then the Canadian Counselling and Psychotherapy Association, which is ccpa-accp.ca for more information. And as usual, you are more than welcome to email me, which is klong@dochaspsych.com. And you can check out our website, as mentioned. Comments for this video have been disabled because I can't monitor them all. But yeah. So thank you again for watching, and I hope it was informative. And yeah, until next time, take care. Bye.